Okay, hola chicos y chicas. So today we're going to talk about the conditional tense. This is a fairly easy tense as far as conjugations go and as far as the use of it. So a review for those of you who have seen it before, just to make sure that you're on top of it. Okay, so the conjugations for regular verbs. As far as the conjugations go, what you do is this is a nice one, select the future. You add the endings to the end of the infinitive, whether it's AR, ER, or ER. So you add the endings at the end of the infinitive. And just for your own personal reference, the endings that we're using are actually the endings of the conjugations of verbos ER and verbos IR in the imperfecto. So here they are: ia, ias, ia, íamos, iais, ian. So those are the endings for all three infinitives: AR, ER, IR. And then again, you're going to add the ending at the end of the infinitive. And we only have about 12 irregulars, so that's nice. And they're the same irregulars as the future. So here they are. So really, the irregular piece of these verbs in the conditional is the root of the verb and not the ending. So that's kind of nice. So caber becomes cabría, cabrías, cabría, cabríamos, cabríais, cabrían. Decir, diría. Hacer, haría. Poder, podría. And let's fix that real quick. That way it's easier and faster this way. Poner, pondría. Querer, querría. Saber, sabría. Salir, saldría. Tener, tendría. Valer, valdría. Venir, vendría. Y haber, habría. So those are all in the yo form. Obviously, you would change the ending accordingly to your subject. And just if we go back one, make notice that the accent falls on the first I within the ending of the conjugation. Okay, so the main functions of the conditional. So usually, we use the conditional to talk about probability. Probability of something, the possibility that it could happen, or that it would happen, or that it must have happened, or that it probably will happen. Okay? So probability, possibility, when we wonder about things, or a conjecture, which is basically an opinion or a conclusion that you have. It has been based upon incomplete information. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later on when we talk about the if clause, okay, which are composed, some of them, with the conditional and the subjunctive. Okay? And as we look into some examples, you'll understand better what these mean. But really, if you can just think as you go from Spanish to English and how you want to express yourself, the would, the could, or the must have of something, or that something probably would happen. Okay? So let's look at a few examples. The student said that he would study 1 more hour. This is a probability. It is a possibility that, he actually does it, or that he would do it. What time could it have been? I wonder. Okay? So I'm asking this question based on possibly missing information. Okay, so what time could it have been when the accident happened? He must have been at home. I'm missing information, but I'm basically, making this assumption that he must have been at home when the accident happened. We were probably busy when you called. So this is a probability, it is a possibility, which is probably the reason why we didn't pick up the phone. And now let's look at the previous examples in Spanish. El alumno dijo que estudiaría 1 hora más. So the student said, he made this statement that he would study 1 more hour. Probability, possibility that he would do it. Did he do it? We don't know. ¿Qué hora sería? So, what time could it have been? I wonder what time would it have been when the accident happened, because I didn't hear it, and it was right in front of my door. ¿Qué hora sería? Estaría en su casa. This is a declaración, it's a statement. Él estaría en su casa. He must have been at home when the police arrived. I'm making an assumption. It's a probability. Okay? Or I'm making that statement based on missing information. Estaríamos ocupados cuando llamaste. So, yeah, we were probably busy when you called. Okay? It's a probability that we were probably busy when you called. So then again, here for probability. And you can see here that we're talking in the past in English. That we were probably busy when you called. It's a little different that we were busy when you called, which would be imperfecto. Estábamos ocupados cuando llamaste. Okay? But this is based on maybe missing information or a probability. Okay? That we were probably busy when you called. And that's the difference of that probably in there when we use estaríamos ocupados cuando llamaste. Versus if I say estábamos ocupados cuando llamaste, it is a fact indeed that we were busy when you called. So there might be some missing information in here. So I'm going to go back real quick to really right here. The would, the could, the must have of something, or the probability of something happening. I'll move forward again. Okay, let's get into some more specific uses of it. So to express speculation about the past, right? Something must have happened, but I'm not totally sure. I'm speculating that it happened. So, aquel día, ellos correrían más de 25 kilómetros. That day they must have run more than 25 kilometers. I'm not really exactly sure. I'm missing information. I'm making a speculation. Conditional. Okay? They must have. That's an expression we use all the time. Really, really useful. To express the future from the perspective of the past. So, yo sabía que abrirían la tienda a las 7. I'm expressing the fact that I knew they would open the store at 7, and I knew this yesterday, or way back in the day when you talked about it. Okay, so you want to express what's going to happen from the perspective of the past when you're in conversation. Okay, so I knew that they would open the store at 7 o'clock. Yo sabía que ellos abrirían la tienda. A few more specific uses of the conditional. So, hypothetical actions or events which may or may not occur. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later with subjunctive as well. But, ¿sería interesante estudiar chino? So, I think that, again, it would be interesting to study Chinese. So, the would is the key word for you guys in English. And then again, it's a hypothetical, situation. I think that it would be interesting. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm interested. So next we have to indicate what would happen if there were not another or some certain specific circumstance to prevent that. And this becomes a little bit like using subjunctive with the if clause later, but it is not an if clause. So, yo viajaría, I would indeed travel, but there's a circumstance, there's something in the way that's preventing me from doing that. No tengo dinero. Okay? So then again, this is the would, the could, the must have, the probability of. So, yo viajaría, condicional, pero no tengo dinero. Okay? These are just some basic examples a few more and we'll be done with this. We use the conditional to be polite or to have some type of softness about our demeanor when we speak to people, to ask for a request. And I do this all the time with you guys joking around. When you ask like, ¿Puedo ir al baño? Meaning, can I go to the bathroom? And I always say, I don't know, ¿puedes? Can you go to the bathroom? When really what I'm looking for is the polite way of asking, the may I, or could I, or would I be able to go to the bathroom, which would be the use of the conditional. So, por favor, ¿podría decirme a qué hora abre la gasolinera? Could you please tell me? Would you please tell me? Okay. ¿Podría usar el baño? May I use the bathroom? Would I? Could I please use the bathroom? So then again, to speak in a polite manner, we use the conditional. To ask for advice, obviously. So, again, we fall into that would. Which one would you buy? What would you advise me to do? What would you think would be the best thing to do in this situation? Or buy, or you name it. So to ask for advice, ¿cuál compraría usted? Which one would you buy? Okay? Or yo compraría esta. I would buy this one. Okay? And for reported speech, which literally this is just to basically talk about or to report what someone has said without literally quoting them. So, talk about what Juan said, right? So Juan dijo que terminaría el trabajo. He said that he would finish the work. There was a probability, a possibility that he would finish it. That's what he said. Okay? Paco dijo que vendría a la fiesta. That's what he said, right? He said that he would come, but he hasn't showed up yet. I don't know. We don't have any dessert. We're going to blame it on Paco. And the last one here is to express what would be done in a particular situation. And then again, we have that would in there. So, ¿hablarías inglés en España? Like, would you speak English in Spain? So, on a general basis, no. Yo hablaría español. I would speak Spanish. That's what I would do. So again, the would, the could, the must have, that probability, that possibility, okay, of something being there. And that's pretty much it. Get those conjugations down, get those 12 irregulars down, and let's practice them. And then we'll do a quick review of the future after this, and we'll move forward.